When you start looking at home massage solutions, the first thing you notice is how many cheap recliners promise deep tissue and thermal relief for half the price of a professional spa session. I've tried a handful of those budget range chairs, and most of them end up feeling like a glorified vibrating couch that rattles more than it soothes, leaving you wondering if the $100 plus you spent was worth the fleeting warmth. That hesitation is what drove me to actually sit down with the Cozzia Svago ZGR Plus Zero Gravity chair, because I wanted to know if a higher-priced option could truly replace a few weekly massages without turning my living room into a noisy workshop. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The first thing I noticed is the chair's silhouette. It looks like a piece of fine furniture rather than a piece of equipment, with a chestnut veneer that blends into a typical living room aesthetic. That matters because you're more likely to keep it in place long enough to see any benefits if it doesn't clash with your decor. The zero-gravity recline is the kind of feature that sounds fancy but often feels gimmicky. Here, however, the remote lets you lower the footrest and tilt the back in a single smooth motion, so you can settle into a weightless position without wrestling with levers. I tested that posture after a long day of standing at a construction site, and the pressure on my lower back and hips eased noticeably within a few minutes, which is something you rarely get from a regular recliner. Cozzia's claim about multi-pulse vibration nodes is easy to verify. The chair houses several small actuators along the lumbar and upper back region, each delivering a gentle pulsation that feels more like a rhythmic tap than a harsh shake. I tried the lowest setting while reading, and the subtle thrum was enough to keep my shoulders relaxed without breaking my concentration. Cranking it up a notch while watching TV gave a stronger kneading sensation that actually seemed to target the tension knots I usually develop after a day of driving. The heat function is integrated into the same nodes, warming up in about a minute. The warmth is modest, more akin to a warm blanket than a sauna, but it stays consistent, which is useful for people who suffer from chronic neck stiffness. I found the heat most helpful during a chilly autumn evening when the heat helped loosen the tightness in my trapezius after a gym session. One practical strength is the chair's footprint. It's not a massive, office-size massage throne. The dimensions allow it to sit comfortably against a wall or even replace a favorite armchair in a smaller apartment. The remote control is intuitive, with a single power button, a recline toggle, and separate buttons for massage intensity and heat. There's no confusing menu of presets, which means you won't spend minutes scrolling through options just to find the right setting. The Memorifoam pillow that comes with the chair adds a nice contour for the head and neck, and it's adjustable by hand, so you can tilt it to accommodate taller or shorter users without fiddling with hidden bolts. However, the chair isn't without its compromises. The vibration nodes are intentionally gentle, which means they won't satisfy someone looking for a deep tissue experience comparable to a professional therapist's hands. If you're the type who needs that intense pressure to break up muscle adhesions, you'll likely feel underserved. The heat element, while steady, does not reach the high temperatures you might find in a dedicated heat therapy pad, so it's more of a soothing backdrop than a primary treatment tool. Also, because the chair leans heavily on a reclining mechanism rather than a full hydraulic lift, the footrest can feel a bit stiff after extended use. You might need to readjust it every hour if you plan to stay reclined for a marathon movie night. Who should consider buying the Cozzia Svago ZGR Plus? If you spend a lot of time on your feet, suffer from mild to moderate back or neck tension, and want a piece of furniture that doubles as a relaxation hub without turning your living room into a clinical setup, this chair hits the sweet spot. It's also a solid choice for retirees or anyone who prefers a low-maintenance, plug-and-play solution rather than scheduling weekly massage appointments. The remote simplicity makes it friendly for older users who might be intimidated by touchscreen panels or app-based controls. Who might skip it? If you're a professional athlete, a physiotherapy patient needing aggressive myofascial release, or simply someone who enjoys the intensity of a hard-punch massage, you'll probably find the vibration too light and the heat insufficient. Likewise, if you're looking for a fully automated, body-scanning chair with multiple rollers that target specific muscle groups, you'll need to look elsewhere. The price point is also higher than the entry-level vibrating recliners, so if your budget is tight and you're comfortable with a basic seat vibration combo, you might opt for a less expensive alternative. In real-world use, the Svago ZGR feels like a bridge between a regular recliner and a low-intensity therapy device.